Welcome back to CountryLine TV. We are here in the studio in Nashville. Paul Ogletree here with you, along with Jenny Tolman.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you. And Jenny told me right before we started, she's like, this is kind of cool. She was just hosting her own podcast, and now she was like, well, I was behind the mic doing hosting, and now she's an artist. Look at that.
It's nice to know that you have the pressure on you now, and I just get to answer. I don't have to remember the information, so.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. No talking points. It's all on me.
Have fun.
Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate that bout of good luck there. Thank you. Yes. But a woman of many talents, hosting podcasts, writing music, all the above.
Thank you.
Yes. And speaking of writing music, you have a new song out, right?
Yes, I do.
Maybe next month?
Yeah, maybe next month. It is probably one of the most personal, meaningful songs to me, because it's something that is about something that people don't talk about a lot, infertility. And, I have a best friend who's going through IVF right now, and so I'm seeing it firsthand and seeing how just confusing it is and beautiful it can be at the same time, and then heartbreaking, and there's just so many layers to it. And getting to talk so in depth with my best friend about this, who also, by the way, is a beautiful singer, and she is singing background vocals on this track. But I woke up, gosh, I don't know, this was a few months back, in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m. and the whole song was just there in my head, and it was just like God had truly just planted it in my brain, and all I had to do was reach over, grab my phone, and in like 15 minutes the whole song was out on my notes app. And I snuck out of bed to not wake my husband or my son up and went down to the sunroom, closed the door, and took my guitar and tried to figure out just the chords and what the melody is going to be. And I mean, it was done. It was probably the least work that I've ever had to put into thinking about a song. And so it's so, to me, it's like that's divine inspiration. Mm-hmm. That's truly God giving me something that, needs to be out in the world. And there's so many women who have, shared their stories with this song. They've created their own trend on TikTok already with the song. And it's incredible, and it's very humbling to me. And I'm just very honored that, I get to share their story that doesn't get talked about a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a very heavy subject, but something that a lot of people end up going through.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so avoided so much, is that people, it's uncomfortable to talk about. Nobody wants to bring it up. And so, getting to be the voice for these women that don't get to have their story talked about or heard, and, they just kind of have to keep it to themselves or keep it within just them and their husbands or whatever the situation may be. It's such a blessing to know that music has that power to give the voiceless a voice.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. And when you brought that to your friend who's going through this, what was, did you tell her like, hey, this was on my brain, like it happened? I mean, how is that not kind of like a...
I was so scared to play it for her. Yeah. I didn't play it for her for probably like 3 months after I wrote it, because I would keep talking to my husband. I'm like, I don't know. And I was just so scared of it, honestly. Because it is such a, raw emotion and such a triggering emotion too. And I'm like, I don't want to upset her. That's the last thing I ever want to do is, she's already got so much pain. I don't want to give her more and, remind her of it. But no, when I finally worked up the courage to play it for her, she cried. I cried.
I guess that was kind of to be expected, right?
And that day she got into the vocal booth and sang background vocals on it because she was so moved by it. So it was a really special moment. And she just hugged me and said and thanked me. And it's such a strange thing to be thanked for that. Because, it's something where I'm like, I really didn't. I did not set out to do this. It's truly just a blessing. And I'm just grateful that for whatever reason, I was given this song, and I can hopefully help these women feel seen and not so alone in this, because it's crazy how many women are going through this in silence. So the fact that they can have something to make them feel less alone makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, and it's an incredibly moving story all the way around, and I can't imagine taking that to someone and being like, hey, this is scary, I wrote this about you, but it's also one of the most traumatic experiences.
Yeah, like, hey, love you.
Yeah, love you. I wrote this really, really
I know
hard,
you're
tough
about to
song.
cry,
Yeah.
but I'm here to hug you. So yeah, it's a tricky subject, which again is why it's not talked about. So
Right.
just gotta put on your big girl pants, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, there you go. See, country music, people that make the joke, country music is not always about heartbreak or dirt
Yes.
roads and pretty girls.
Yep.
Sometimes it's
Mhm.
about really heavy, traumatic
Yep.
experiences that your friends are going
I think
through.
that country music has such a special way of getting to talk about things that like no other genre can.
I would agree with that.
And I think that this is one of them, you know, a good example of that. Because people always think like, oh, it's just like a bunch of hillbillies and like dumb truck songs. And, you know, we got that and they're fun. And
Sure.
we are that sometimes. It's fun to be a dumb hillbilly. But to get to have, you know, the family element that
Mhm.
country music has and to say these things is so special. That's one of the things that made me fall in love with it to begin with.
Yeah, there you go. And we're one big happy family.
Yeah.
Maybe not one big happy family, but one big family
Yeah.
in country music,
Happy,
right?
dysfunctional,
Yeah.
all the above.
Can't spell family without dysfunctional, as they say. Speaking of big happy family, all the above,
Yes.
we were talking about you were hosting the podcast before this, but
Mhm.
the family that you have kind of curated, I guess you could
Yes.
say, is this festival that you've put together in Wyoming, Cowgirls at the Cowboy.
Yes.
Tell me about this.
So it is the nation's one and only all-female country music festival, hosted at the iconic $1 Million Cowboy Bar out in
Yes.
Jackson Hole. My husband and I actually got married in Jackson Hole, so it's a very special place
That's
to me
cool.
for many reasons. But this is our 4th year. So the owner of the Cowboy Bar, Bill Baxter, he unfortunately passed away last year, and he was a huge supporter of mine, and this was his brainchild. And he called me, I guess 4 years ago now, and I was like, Jenny, I'm sick of all these men. They just screw everything up. Will you put together, I want,
Oh,
I'm
no.
only booking women from now on, and I want you to be the face of this festival. Will you put it together with me? And I was like, yeah, sounds good. So, I mean, honestly, it was truly like, talk about blessings falling out of the sky. It was just put into my lap, and I had this dream job of getting to curate these artists and bringing these women into, you know, my favorite place in the whole country. And it's so beautiful, and the people there are so amazing. So it's a 3-night festival. Our first night is always a songwriter night. And so we've got incredible, I think the lineup's been announced. So we have an incredible lineup. Tranny Anderson, who has so many hits with Lainey Wilson, Ella Langley, Morgan Wallen. I mean, she's like ridiculous, and she's so nice. I had her on my podcast too.
Self-plug.
She is self-plug. Tranny Anderson and Willow Avalon, who is absolutely blowing up right now. Oh my gosh. Her and Tranny and myself are going to play the songwriter night the first night. Second night is always like an artist who's having a huge breakout year. Last year we had Tiger Lily Gold. This year we have Mae Estes, who I am in love with. She has one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. And our headliner happens on the 3rd night. And this year we have Ella Langley, which is like mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
I know who that is. Yes.
You've heard of her a couple times,
Yeah.
but no, it's going to be pretty fantastic. I'm, again, so grateful that I even get to be a part of it, let alone, you know, be a part of putting it all together.
Yeah, that's wild. And I feel like, I mean, the owner of one of the most iconic bars in the country calls you and says, put together a country music festival, all female, and you're going to host it. You just say yes and figure it out, I guess,
yes,
right?
that is correct. I have a lot of help, so I cannot take credit, but yeah, it's a pretty big blessing that I'm glad that I get to hang my hat on every year.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm, you know, as a man, it pains me a little bit to hear that we lost the privilege
and
there.
Don't get me wrong, I love men, but you do screw it up sometimes.
I've heard this about us. I have heard this about us, you know? So hard times out there. But I don't know what else to say other than darn.
Well, we can put a wig on you and you can come up.
Yeah, I don't think people will notice the mustache.
No, not at all.
Yeah, just whatever. Okay, well, you know, so but I can still attend, right? Men can still attend.
Course,
okay,
yes.
great. I'm glad.
We love your money.
Yeah.
You can buy tickets all day
we
long.
see how this works now, right? The truth is out there. Okay, it's crazy how that works. Anyway, but so you have this. So you have the song that's out. You have the event in Jackson Hole, and then also you have some other news coming up here this fall. Maybe we'll see
Yes.
you on the TV. It sounds like maybe somewhere.
Yes, I will be on CBS's new show, The Road.
Look at that.
Yep. Blake Shelton and Taylor Sheridan came together and have created a whole new docu-series competition. Follows 12 of us artists around on the road, hence the name. We're opening for Keith Urban every night, and you will have to tune in and see how it all plays out.
Cliffhanger. Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, this is the year. I keep talking about blessings. It's such a blessing. I mean, I had a child. I had a son. I have a son who is 2.5 years old, and honestly, like, since having him, it's been tricky to figure out, like, oh gosh, what am I doing? Like, does anybody take me seriously anymore? Am I done? Like, am I not cool anymore? And then for the show to come along and they really value me as a mother, is really, really special, and you'll get to see that. And so it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah,
I can't wait
exciting
for everybody to be able to see it.
And then where can people find you out there on the interwebs?
Yeah, Jenny Tolman, anywhere. I mean, Instagram, TikTok, X as they call it now,
Twitter,
YouTube,
yes.
JennyTolman.com. I'll be all over there.
And it's 1L, correct?
1L. Yes,
T-O-L.
thank you for clarifying.
You're very welcome. Yeah, TOLMAN. There you go. Jenny Tolman with us here in the studio, CountryLine TV. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Absolutely.